All right, let's get into some tight end talk. Obviously, we spent a lot of time on quarterbacks here, so we will get through these tight ends here. Transitioning here, let's discuss our strategies for drafting tight ends. Also, where do you typically try to grab a tight end, and at what point do you decide you're just going to wait to be one of the last guys to take a tight end?
If you don't get the top 3, you just wait.
I mean, I have no problem with taking like Hockenson or Andrews in the middle rounds because even if you still have them, you still have a good positional advantage against most people in the league. And I'm also not against taking one of the top 3 within the first 2 rounds. Because, I mean, if you do that, you're giving your team a clear advantage unless you have like a tight end wide receiver spot. And which I like because last year Kelsey finished with similar numbers to Stephon Diggs, and Diggs was the wide receiver 4. And after that, it was Waller with 278 points. After that, guess who finished number 3?
We already know. It's Bobby Tunyon, ain't it?
Logan Thomas.
Oh, it's Logan Thomas.
Close.
Close. I think Tunyon was
And
at 4
he
then.
finished with 176 points. That is over 100 points between 2 and 3. I mean, so reaching on one of them top tight ends, I have no problem with.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think after the top 6, I'm probably just waiting until I can take a flyer on a couple guys in the last couple rounds.
Agreed.
I think it's after Hockenson, Andrews, Pitts, as well as the top 3 we've already talked about. I think that's when I'm like, look, I'll wait on guys and take a shot on Gerald Everett or Smith. Other guys we'll get into as well, instead of like having to reach on someone like Noah Fant that I'm not 100% sold on. All right. Obviously, we're talking about Kelsey here. Does he still hold firm at number 1 for you guys after 5 straight seasons of being number 1? And I know we talked about a little bit. Where are you drafting Travis Kelsey?
I'm not drafting him.
Ooh, too high for your taste?
Yeah, honestly.
Give
But
me
like I said,
RB1.
you're still getting like wide receiver 4 value out of him. Not like wide receiver 4, wide receiver
it.
1 value.
We get it. But no,
You know,
I'd much rather have a running back 1. Like I'm
Yeah, I
locking
agree.
up my running back.
I agree.
It's just crazy to think that like it's normal for him now to just not go past round 1. But like, I think I'll still think you're saying if you take him round 1, like pick 11 or 12, sure. I mean, if you're taking Kittle or Waller round 1,
No.
probably not happening. Maybe Waller over Kittle, people would do.
Risky.
Then you definitely need to reevaluate a few things. I have Kelsey. You know that I'm not on the Kelsey fan bus this year, but he's still number 1. If I had the opportunity to take him in the first round, I probably would pass.
Yeah, I'm taking Travis Kelsey in the first round, most likely. Not top 6 or anything like that, but after that, I think it's definitely sane to take him.
All right, what pick?
Any pick after that. I think I have him at 11, but I would not be shocked if you took him at 8 or lower. I mean, 8 or lower is probably where I would be like, all right, that still makes sense. You're getting such an advantage at that tight end position every single week compared to the guys that are going to be starting. Irf Smith Jr., Noah Fant, the Eagles tight ends, whoever. Like, that's an easy 10-point advantage every single week that you're going to have locked up compared to if you grab RB1, let's say you grab at that position Jonathan Taylor or something like that, and in the next round somebody gets Mixon. How much of an advantage is that? Kelsey gives you that next level advantage in most games compared to that RB1 drop that you're taking in the second round.
I agree, Sean.
That's why I don't think it's that crazy at this point, just because of how consistent he's been. But eventually he has to fall, so there's still a little bit of risk, but Kelsey's just been so consistent, still has the best quarterback in football thrown to him. So moving on to Waller and Kittle, though. We've discussed this multiple times already. What's your final take on it a month out from the season? What round are you targeting these guys, and which one do you like more?
Give me Waller late 3rd. If he falls, I'll take him, but I'm not taking him any earlier than late 3rd.
His ADP is the 3rd, like early 3rd round.
Early
right now.
3rd, yeah.
And then Kittle is 4 spots after him, I think. Either before or after.
I like him right around their ADP. I like Waller a little bit more than Kittle just because he's been more consistent over the past couple of years. Kittle's had these injuries. And like I said on the last pod, Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are both going to be healthy. The Raiders kicked Nelson Aguilar out of town, so that's just more targets for Waller. I see a little bit less for Kittle. So it's just the volume is why I have Waller over Kittle.
Yeah, I respect that. I think I just like Kittle's big playability a little bit more. But obviously, we're splitting hairs. I think for me, they're 2A, 2B. And I think the earliest I would grab them is late second round. Probably early third, though, is where I'd be looking to target them. If they're sitting there, I'm definitely grabbing one of them because, like I said, it's not Kelsey, but it's like that next step down where you're still going to have a pretty big advantage over those guys that don't have that same type of tight end. But it seems like we all have a combination of Hawkinson, Pitts, and Andrews following these guys. So in what order do you rank these three? And then where are you targeting those guys?
Andrews, Pitts, Hawkinson.
Yep. I agree also. Q, are you different?
I think so. I have two different sets of rankings. I don't remember the ones that I sent over, but the ones I have on here are Hawkinson, Pitts, Andrews.
Whoa.
Q's the lowest on Andrews.
Whoa.
Remember, he said he wasn't going to be
Lamar.
top 7 or something?
You're
I believe so,
wild.
Said.
Does,
Definitely was
does
outside of something.
Gesicki finish over Andrews?
No, but he may finish next to him.
Okay.
I love Andrews. He's easily that number 4 for me,
Yeah.
no doubt.
I just think about Sammy Watt. Now he has some receivers, so Lamar could be looking at them before Mark Andrews. Usually that's not the case, but
If he's looking at them, he's just looking off the defense. I don't think you have to worry about Sammy Watkins taking too many targets away from Andrews. The one I would be worried about is Rashad Bateman, but even then, Andrews is going to get his fair share, especially in the red zone. He is by far Lamar's favorite red zone target.
Yeah.
you know who has the threat of finishing better than Hawkinson?
So
Dallas Goddard.
Stop.
Look it up. Last year,
Stop.
Dallas Goddard was more efficient tight end
All
than
right.
Hawkinson in many
Maybe like
categories.
block.
All right. Last year, yes, I agree with that. But let's move into the Eagles tight ends now. Everyone expected Ertz to be moved out of Philly by now, but he is still here. So what does that do to Goddard, Q? You think Ertz is just going to be irrelevant?
I don't think he'll be irrelevant, but I think he's going to take some sort of back seat. I mean,
Sure.
you'll later on my hot take will kind of clarify what I'm getting at. Maybe not right now, but you're taking Goddard over Ertz. I think it's a few spots ahead of Ertz. I don't even have Ertz ranked top 15. Maybe I need to update that. But I think he's better than Ertz right now.
I mean, Ertz and Goddard both played 11 games last year. In those 11 games, Goddard was undeniably better. And believe it or not, Richard Rodgers finished with more yards and more touchdowns than Zach Ertz. Granted, he missed a couple games, and Richard Rodgers was the only tight end out there.
Yeah,
for
that was a
couple weeks.
weird year.
But still, I mean, Zach Ertz kind of lost his magic that he used to have when he was a little bit younger, and he still can't break a tackle to save his life. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that big playability is kind of out the window, and I think that all goes over to Goddard.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it as much on Ertz last year as I would on Wentz having a very struggling year. Obviously, we saw that kind of
was
brought
just
the
the
whole
Eagles.
offense down. The Eagles were rough. I do think Ertz could easily bounce back. I don't think he's going to be top 5 Ertz we saw in the past, but could Ertz be on the same level as Goddard? I could see them getting similar target share in this offense where they're going to have a lot of hopefully 2 tight end sets. I don't know. We kind of have a new entire
They
offense
should.
for the Eagles. But they're both going to be out there. I think that takes Goddard's value away, like where I had him ranked at 7. I moved him down to 9. I have Ertz at 10. I don't really know which one's going to be that much better. I do lean with you guys. I would rather have Goddard, but I think that just scares me a little bit more that Ertz is most likely going to be staying in Philly and taking up a lot of those targets.
Like there was a point last year where Richard Rodgers was a streaming option at tight end.
Yeah.
He was.
Because
People were
Wentz-
starting him
Wentz-
in our league, I believe.
Gator.
Yeah. Richard Rodgers was definitely an option, but I think Ertz and Goddard, Ertz staying scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit closer than Matt and Q have them. Like, I think they're going to go back and forth. Really, like I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think it
You
could be
guys
either one, any week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Especially
think it's
catching
going to
the
go back and
touchdown
forth.
too.
I don't think Ertz is out of his prime. I just think last year was a really weird year. He was hurt, and then they're just bad. I think that he could come back and be close, not too close to what he was 2019, because Hurts is still young and who knows. But I think he is still could be a top guy.
Yeah. I got him at 9 and 10. I think that's kind of where They should both be being drafted at this point, kind of like that late round tight end. You could draft either or. Both of them could end up working out.
Yeah, I got him 11, 12.
Yeah, very close there. But Fant and Tunyon seem to be the other two guys that are mentioned after those earlier round tight ends. Which one do you like more out of these two?
Definitely Tunyon, strictly based off how he played last year with Rodgers, and nothing's really changed in Green Bay. Nothing's changed in Denver, and negatively where there's no quarterback like that's consistent enough that make Fant good. But people are still going to reach on Fant because they loved him last year and he did nothing. After
I agree
week
with
2.
you. I think I'm taking Tunyon solely based off quarterback play. I mean, Rodgers is light years ahead of Drew Lock or whoever else they might have starting.
Teddy B.
And also, Cortland Sutton's going to be back in that offense. So there's
away
a
more
lot of
targets.
targets going away from Noah Fant, and no new big additions aside from Randall Cobb to the Packers. But I don't see Randall Cobb having very much impact on that offense, if any. I mean, he's kind of old, but I do love him a lot. Love Randall Cobb. But yeah, definitely give me Tunyon out of these two.
Yeah, I hate Fant. Don't
Oh my!
draft Fant.
You looked like
I
you were
knew
about
Giaz
to,
was ready to just say that.
No, he looked. I
Sweet.
thought you were about to say something in Fant's favor. I was just a
Never.
little worried.
Never.
He
in a
did have
million
10 more
years.
receptions. I'll say that. But thanks.
I like Fant's talent a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to be put together like Matt and Q were saying. Quarterback play isn't there. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Denver right now, and it's really we don't know how it's going to shake out just yet.
And the guy feeding them
obviously-
isn't good.
Yeah, and Tunyon's still going to be a red zone monster. He's still most likely the second pass catching option out of the Green Bay area there. So I don't think Lazard's really scaring anybody. Maybe Amari Rodgers if he breaks out, but I don't think that's going to happen right away either. So Tunyon over Fant for me as well. But after most of the guys we've talked about at this point, it's pretty much a dart throw. So let's do the same thing we did for quarterbacks with our favorite early target and favorite late target for tight ends. Q, start us off. What do you got?
Let me go second.
All right, Q, don't start us off. So you guys start us off. What do you got?
All right, Matt, you want to tag team this real quick?
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Oh,
Start it off.
all right. Early, we're going with Darren Waller. We love him. We can't get enough of him. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. 107 receptions, 1,200 yards,
Boom.
9 touchdowns.
Bang. Wide
His
receiver
compe-
one numbers.
His competition on the team, his biggest one, Henry Ruggs.
Nope,
How many-
words.
How many
Y'all.
receptions last year? How many receptions last year from Henry Ruggs?
36.
Like
26.
40.
Oh my God, I was 10 too high still.
His other competition, John Brown, Brian Edwards,
Smokey.
Hunter
Hunter
Renfro?
Renfro.
Willie Snead.
Bad.
Which one's taking targets from him?
Nobody. And
Not
that
Is
many.
Josh
run
Jacobs?
game
Is Josh
suspect.
Jacobs taking targets from him?
Kenny and Drake.
No.
Is Kenyon Drake?
Drake will catch a couple.
Maybe a
And that
couple, but
defense
not-
sucks.
not many.
So Derek Carr is going to be forced to throw.
Darren
and when
Waller
he's
is going
throwing,
to
He's not looking for anyone aside from
eat.
Darren Waller.
Yeah.
He's going to feast. Over 100 receptions.
easily. You got anything to add, Matt?
He's,
Waller the baller.
I mean, there's not really much to add.
All right, fair enough.
You kind of hit the nail right on the head, buddy.
Thank you.
Lock in Darren Waller. All right, you guys, who do you got going late? And then Matt, you can finish that off too.
Late, I'm taking Gerald Everett. All the news that I've heard out of camp has been great. He's been Russ's favorite target in 11-on-11 drills. And they've been working together all the way back since April. I didn't know that, but they've been practicing. They've been getting the chemistry good. And Seattle's new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, I don't know, that could be his name. But guess where he came from?
The Rams.
He came from the Rams. He was with Gerald Everett this whole time. He knows what he could do.
They're a package deal.
I
Yeah.
think he's got a real chance to be good this year. I like Gerald Everett.
I hope so. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I like Gerald Everett also. Matt, who's your late round target?
All right. My late round target isn't necessarily a guy I believe could finish as like a top tight end name, but I'm going to go with Jared Cook. I think him being on the Chargers is a breath of fresh air. Listen,
Coming from you.
listen to me. I hate to say it, but listen. He still had 7 touchdowns this year, and that Saints offense was like a roller coaster aside from Kamara, because MT was down, and then they had Taysom Hill starting here, and then Jameis and Drew Brees was out, and it was just like wild. But I think him being with Justin Herbert, I've seen good reports coming out of training camp that he's been loving him in the red zone, and that's where Jared Cook excels. He's a big body. He can easily go up there and get it for him. If it's not going to Keenan Allen, his target share kind of scares me, but if you get Jared Cook in one of the late rounds as a backup tight end, plug him in as your bye week, maybe start him based off matchups a week or two, I definitely see him putting up some good numbers for you.
Yeah.
You already gave him the narrative last year that he's so bad, and sometimes I take people's narratives and I make it my own for people, and so I don't think I ever want to touch Jared Cook because he did you so dirty.
That's fine. He did do me dirty, but
He was just throwing a dart throw. If he caught a touchdown, you were happy. If he didn't, you were not happy. All right, Q. Who's your late round target?
Well, I didn't give my early round target.
Oh yeah, both.
But
Sorry.
Kyle Pitts, I think technically it's a dart throw because we don't know what he could be. He could be like the second coming of Tony Gonzalez. I think he's going to be utilized a lot in that offense. We didn't see Hayden Hurst really succeed much last year.
Forgot about Hayden Hurst.
Yeah,
Falcons
we did forget about. But Julio's gone, so that obviously helps. Ridley's going to be the guy that most defenses are planning against. Maybe if they still had Gurley, it would help even more because he even had his run. But Kyle Pitts, top 5 tight end. I'm just going based off of the hype that's coming into him. I think you might have to reach a little bit to get him, but it definitely could pay off. And my late round target, it's kind of gross, but Evan Ingram, his rookie year may be his best year of his career, but I mean, that's why late round target.
Yeah.
You're hoping that it's not after a rookie year of 6 touchdowns. He dropped off from like big time, 4th in drops in the league this year. But Kenny Galladay coming back or joining the team, and see, there's just so many negatives. Like
You just have like, wait, are you building a case for or against him?
No. So Kenny Galladay can help his case, but they did get Kyle Rudolph. I don't know what his value is.
Q, you shot yourself in the foot, bro.
Daniel Jones is on a contract year.
Okay.
And
That's
if he
in your
doesn't
favor.
play well, him and Evan Ingram will be both out the door. And I don't know if they were drafted the same year, but it'd be a cute story if they both get a contract after this offseason.
Cute story.
You sound like Gator selling low on it, selling high on his buy low last year.
I don't know what I was thinking. May have been
Ingram's
drunk.
not the worst target. I mean, he definitely has the
Maybe
talent.
drunk.
We've seen him have good
He
seasons.
is talented.
Yeah, and all of their wide receivers on that team are injury prone, so he could end up the only.
He's
healthy
also
guy out
injury
there,
prone,
but
though.
he's also injury prone. So
So
big risk, maybe possible reward.
my late round target is also Gerald Everett.
Switched it up.
I'm
All right.
done trying to defend him.
All right, I'll finish this off here with the early and late round targets here. Travis Kelsey's my early round target. I'm not going to be afraid to say it. He's going 7th overall, maybe one pick too high, but I'm still not. I don't think that's that crazy. Draft Travis Kelsey, you're getting the biggest advantage in fantasy at any position. If Gerald Everett's going up against you and you have Travis Kelsey, you feel really good. So definitely draft Travis Kelsey. He's going to get you at least 15 most weeks, if not 20. Touchdown monster, still arguably the number 1 target there for Mahomes. Him and Tyreek go back and forth there. Travis Kelsey, draft him. Late round target, though, I really like Irf Smith Jr. He's been sneaking up the ADP, so if you're drafting earlier, you're probably going to get him lower than you will in a couple of weeks. He's currently being drafted as tight end 11. He's going 110th overall, so still pretty late. He's the guy I would really want to grab. Kyle Rudolph's now out of town, and Justin Jefferson's already a little bit banged up. He should be fine, though. But even with both of them there, Irf Smith Jr. being the number 3 target here, should be a monster in the red zone. He's huge. He's super athletic, and I think he's got a potential to be a top 10 tight end this year. Easy, maybe even top 5 if he does become an integral part of this offense.
Yes, stop. I thought Jordan Jefferson got hurt.
No,
Wasn't that the typo?
Yeah, it was a
Typo,
typo.
Jordan.
And one of the reports. All right, but let's do some bold takes before we get into some trivia here. Q, start us off. You were already talking about the birds. What do you got?
Yeah. I don't think it's too biased. I think that Zach Ertz and Dallas Goddard, some of us have them both ranked in top 10 or top 11, but I think they both finished top 10. They both finished top 10 in 2019. Zach Ertz was the 4th best tight end. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe they'll both finish closer to 10, but they're going to be definitely a vital part of this offense unless Hurts kicks it off with Devontae Smith Young quarterbacks love to look at their tight ends, and why not look at one who guaranteed catches the ball all the time, maybe not run the ball anything past getting touched, and then Dallas Goddard, yards after catch, monster. So they both finished top 10. High hopes. Maybe the only upside of this Eagles offense outside of Smith.
Yeah. They could
Y'all
be
forget who Miles Sanders is?
Who's that?
We're
Gainwell.
talking about tight ends here. All
Keith
right, Matt.
Gainwell.
Well,
Kenneth.
I forgot Devonta Smith was a tight end.
He's a receiving option.
All right, T-Gods. What do you got?
All right. Matt, I'm sorry. Robert Tonyan, he's going to finish under his ADP, which right now I
Cheating.
believe
Probably
is
will.
tight end 8, I believe. Depending on where you look.
I think he
But-
finishes right around there. So I wouldn't
Okay.
be surprised if he didn't.
Well, I'm just going to be honest. Aaron Rodgers probably doesn't throw 48 touchdowns again. I love him. He's great, but he's probably not going to throw that again.
That's
Which
a lot.
means which means that Robert Tonyan's probably not going to get 11 touchdowns again.
No way.
He only had 52 receptions and under 600 yards and still somehow finished tight end 4.
He was very tight end. I mean, touchdown.
He's very
Not
tight end dependent.
Was very
So-
tight.
No, but I think everything's going to come down a little bit, and I don't think he finishes anywhere inside the top 10 even. Like there's just no reason to think that. Plus, Randall Cobb is coming. Matt, I know you said he probably doesn't matter, but Aaron Rodgers wanted him back for a reason. Like I think
I
he's
know.
automatically the second receiving target on the team.
Easily.
So,
Oh,
Yeah.
But it's,
Could be.
it's the last dance.
see.
They're all going to
The
go off.
last dance.
they're winning the
Packers.
bowl.
Packers should be an interesting team this year for sure. Matt, what's your bold take here? I don't like it though.
All righty. Here we go. I believe that this is the first year in 6 years that Travis Kelsey does not finish number 1.
Wrong.
with it.
Front runner to beat him, Darren Waller, of course. Right behind him, George Kittle. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some tight end just so happened to blow up and they just blew everyone out of the water.
Gronk.
But no, not Gronk. But yeah,
We didn't
I
even
just
talk
think
about
that
Gronk on this episode.
I think Kelsey, he's 31, 32, I believe, somewhere. I know he's one of those two.
31.
So maybe he's lost a step. I don't know. I'm just hoping so I don't look like an idiot.
You
But
and
yeah,
Q
I-
hating on Kelsey this year.
He could finish 2. That's no problem. But I just don't think he finishes number 1 again this year.
All right. We shall see. All right. My bold take, Kyle Pitts is going to break the rookie record for receptions by a tight end in a season, which was Keith Jackson in 1988 with 81 receptions.
Didn't he play for the Flyers?
We're talking about football here, Q. With the extra game, Julio's out of town. Pitts is going to have to pick up a lot of the slack that Julio is going to leave behind. And I think he should be locked in as a top 5 tight end, and he should see a ton of volume on this offense. I think he could easily get 81 catches, if not more. We saw Evan Ingram have a big season as a rookie when he was looking to get a big target volume share there. And I think Kyle Pitts is primed to be an even better candidate here for a breakout season. So Kyle Pitts, top 5 tight end for me, going to catch at least 81 passes.
They're lucky
Lock
Ertz
it in.
wasn't a rookie when he broke that crazy record with receptions.
He had like 116 or something.
Easily wouldn't have been broken. Maybe by Kelsey.
Yeah, I don't know if Pitts gets 116, but he's getting more than 81.
All right.